Okay, this video is Internist conversation number 16 and the Bible. The internist says to me, the patients don't realize it, but they are the ones with the power. Me, what do you mean? Internist, other than the replacement drugs, drugs that replace chemicals that are normally found in the human body, stuff like insulin, thyroid hormone, testosterone, stuff like that. Most drugs don't do much, and they have a lot of side effects. The medical doctor only has drugs, and they can't do that much with most of these drugs. It's the diet and the lifestyle stuff that really heals people, and the patient's the one who has control of that, so they've got the power. Me, but the doctor usually doesn't know anything about nutrition. Internist, yes. And even when the doctor does know about the low-fat vegan diet and they tell the patient usually doesn't want to try it. Me, yeah. The diet and the lifestyle stuff is the only thing that can save them, and they usually don't want it. Internist. The patients, they're sort of like trained to expect to be treated with drugs and surgery. Me, yeah. And they see drugs and surgery as real science. They think that diet is a joke. They hear so much contradictions on the internet and stuff. They think also that like a specialist doctor is the best one. I've had lots of patients ignore my advice because they say they're going to a specialist. The diabetes patients tell me their diabetes is under control and they're going to a specialist. And yeah, usually they're fat cardiac patients. They think stents and surgery are real treatments and diet's a joke. If I start telling them about Dr. Esselstyn and the low-fat vegan diet, they roll their eyes at me like they're politely listening to a fool. Yeah, and then the kidney failure patients, they think only a kidney doctor can help them. They're going to a kidney doctor, and why should they listen to me? I'm not a kidney doctor. But the nephrologists, they usually don't know anything, almost anything about diet. Even and I've gone through their literature, it's a joke, okay? And they just want to put the patient on dialysis. That's how they make money. These patients don't understand. There's a fundamental conflict of interest. If they were to cure the patient with the vegan diet, they would lose money. Internist, yeah. And it all goes back to the Bible, Genesis 1:29. God said, I have given you plants that shall be your food. That's what we're supposed to do to be healthy. And, there it is. And I think, too, that, we should sort of live in a simple way. Other than, keep your indoor heating and plumbing, kind of live like Adam and Eve. Eat whole foods from outdoors, plant foods. Anyways, I hope that's helpful to people. Happy Easter.